Welcome back everybody to episode 19 for the Dark Souls 2 countdown. This is top 10 creative builds where we're going to take a look at some of the awesome playstyles and unique weapon combinations and things like that, but not cosplays, that's a separate topic. If you want to submit for the next episode, make sure to watch to the end of this video, but otherwise, let's start this episode off at number 10. So here we have Demon Babification with his big meaty Viking build. The interesting thing about this build is that he's made a big character with very big armor, so he definitely looks like a huge tanky Viking, but he also has two raw bandit great axes as well as a shield. Dual wielding axes is something you almost never see, especially the bandit great axe, because it has a pretty short reach. However, it fits so well with this build, and also the whole point of it is clearly to be a raging aggressive Viking, so he's always going to be up close and personal. He ends up winning the match with a nice parry and smashes his opponent into the floor. That was a pretty unique set of weapons, and the build has a cool theme to it. Ender's Story is showcasing his Pyromancy build, although it's a lot more hardcore than just a normal pyro build. He's in fact only using flames and fire as his methods of attacking. The first interesting thing he uses is the Dance of Fire Pyromancy, which you can actually control the direction it goes depending on which hand your Pyromancy glove is in, from right to left, or in this case from left to right, which hits the host perfectly due to his good positioning. Then he uses Immolation, which sets himself on fire, damaging himself but also damaging everything near him, including the host. Then to top it all off, he uses the Flame Butterfly item to light his torch and begins beating the host with that as well. The host starts running away, probably has no idea what's going on, and it actually ends up being extremely close as the host finally burns to death, with Ender's Story dying a second or so afterwards. Switching up the idea of a traditional Pyromancy build, congratulations, let's take a look at number 8. Here we have Sai Vane, who's using a shield-only build. Currently in his right hand he has Pate's Shield, which he's strengthened with the Strong Magic Shield sorcery. That's something you don't see often. In his left hand though, he's using the Sanctum Shield, which is very smart because you can actually cast miracles and sorceries with that shield, meaning he doesn't need a catalyst or anything like that. He can buff his right hand shield and cast force simply by using that Sanctum Shield. As you can see, his opponent's weapons just bounce off his buff defense, and he's making really good use of his jumping attacks, hitting some respectable damage for a shield only build. At this point he two-hands his Sanctum Shield and actually hits over 400 damage. And the thing to consider here is that his shield attack actually blocks at the same time. Next up he takes out the shield crossbow, which is very rare to see, but as we know it's not that bad. You can block attacks while simultaneously firing shots. Here he blocks his first attack with the crossbow, instantly parries the follow-up attack with his left shield, takes out the disc chime and does a jump attack for over 600 damage. That was amazing. That is also yet another shield that can cast miracles. Well, I mean, it is a chime, but it acts like a shield as well. He recasts Strong Magic Shield, and he can't get punished too badly because the turtle armor he's wearing prevents backstabs. I mean, this guy's thought of everything. It's actually quite a tanky build. Eventually, he finishes off the fight with one of the most stylish endings on this countdown. He baits him in with a second strong attack, backsteps through his first attack and parries the second, takes out the shield crossbow, two-hands it, zooms in and takes the most humiliating headshot ever. That was incredible. Awesome job, man. Let's move on to number 7. At number 7, Brainhorn here has created a monster, a horrifying creature using the Warlock mask, dark armor, and of course the malformed claws, which I am positive I have never seen anyone use in PvP ever. He finds the host near the entrance and slowly walks towards him. You can't blame the host for being scared though, I would be too, honestly. I mean, he doesn't even attack, he just tries to run past him, but he gets guard broken and riposted for most of his health, and then Brainhorn chains the guard break into a double, which ends up wrecking the poor guy. Really, that is such a cool build. Very unique weapons, a nice horror theme as well. So well done, and let's move along to number 6. We have Mayhem with his pure poison build. This entire build is focused on inflicting poison and toxic, and he begins the fight here by casting Toxic Mist, and then he rushes in to attack with his poison-infused Spider Fang. At this point his opponent is toxicked and poisoned, which is a very scary situation to be in. His health is decreasing extremely quickly, and in fact Mayhem stops bothering to attack because he's realised that his opponent has run out of time. You don't come up against poison builds all that often, and this one is more creative than normal because it used a variety of weapons and castings, plus it looks cool due to the texture mods. Nice job, man. Let's move along to number 5. Okay, coming in halfway down the countdown, we have Thexterer with his Spike Knight. He calls it that because, as you can tell, this build has a distinct theme involving spikes. He's got the Ashen Warrior sword, but most importantly, he's wearing the Visible Aurus armor set, which is perfect. It has a load of metal spikes and jagged edges, and he also has the bound wooden shield to complete the look. Aside from that, he has lacerating knives, and he's just taken out the barbed club. He's essentially a walking cactus. Anyway, the build clearly works well as he easily defeats his opponent. That really is a very nice build, and I guess it's a kind of tribute to Kirk from Dark Souls 1, so good job, man. Let's move on to number 4. Here we have Steel369 using a broken thief sword, and you'll soon realise what his unique strategy is, but in terms of his weapon, I assume he's just challenging himself, because using a weapon with such a low damage output simply gives more opportunities for your opponent to safely heal. As you might be realising, essentially this guy's creative strategy is to just parry every single attack his opponent throws out. He's also really quick in the menus with his ring swaps, and his next parry is actually a double parry because he parries the Ricard Rapier's strong attack.
That was double parry, you heard that? The double sound.
I'm not sure I knew that could happen, but I guess that the Rapier's strong attack comes out extremely fast with lots of single attacks in a row, so yeah, that's pretty cool. And here he gets a parry yet again, and he swaps out to the Ring of Blades for the 4th time. Slowly but surely he's getting there. His opponent then actually does heal up with an Estus, but Steel manages to quickly punish him, and that pretty much signals the end of the fight. He gets quick, consistent hits in despite not doing much damage, and ends up defeating him with a running attack. Congratulations on winning with a broken sword. Let's move on to number 3. I found this next submission hysterical. Hall Squire 711 has made what he calls a drunken drag queen build. So he's made a male character and dressed him up to look like a woman who keeps chugging down Estus to represent some kind of alcohol. And he's got the smelter hammer comboed with the illusory ring to make it invisible. And the sole reason for that is because the attacks make you fall over, of course. As you can see, he's all over the place, using the power of drunkenness to attack. I absolutely love creative builds like this, where you basically create your own game within the game, you know. It's just so funny. Imagine invading a cross-dresser who keeps chugging alcohol and falling over. It's just great. But regardless, he's clearly doing well. He's flattened his opponent plenty of times, and actually he's pretty close to winning. A bit later, he does get backstabbed in the face, which is pretty odd, but hey, he is meant to be drunk, right? And he's clearly not happy about it, because at the end of the fight, he winds up a huge powerhouse swing and steams towards him, collapsing over and killing him in the process. Amazing job, man. That was too funny. Congratulations. Let's move on to number 2. Here we have Dragonborn Doubleoh7 with a ranged only build. He has great bows, crossbows, the bow of want, and even throwing knives. Pretty awesome. He's up against an opponent in the red arena, and he starts off with his bow of want hitting a cheeky 420 damage, then switches to the shield crossbow, which we've seen earlier in the countdown. It really is a cool crossbow. He's making use of everything he has though. He chucks out a throwing knife, which connects for some decent damage, and immediately combos it with another shield crossbow shot. Then he brings out the big guns, the Sanctum repeating crossbow, which blasts out 700 damage, almost taking his opponent out. He gets his health down a little bit more with another throwing knife, then goes back to the possessed armor greatbow for the final shot, but no, he just misses. So in the end, he runs in up close and personal and sticks a throwing knife in him. That was awesome. A very wide variety of ranged weapons used there in just a single match. Congratulations. Let's move on to number 1. Taking the first spot is Yoshi's second cousin with his rejuvenated Drangleic fighter build. So his build starts off as a broken old man, decrepit and hollow. He's fat rolling because of the extra weapons he has in his inventory to weigh him down, and his feeble punches do barely any damage because his weapon is broken. So as you've probably realised, this build has a story to it that develops as the fight progresses, which I thought was a really unique idea. A little later on in the fight, the old man successfully parries his opponent, but instead of riposting, he consumes a humanity, which returns him to his youth, and he regains his strength and dexterity. This means he removes the items that were weighing him down to represent this, and he switches his broken weapon to an upgraded Dragonbone fist, and now he can start kicking some ass. The fight progresses for quite a while actually, and ends up being pretty close. He uses the special attack of his fist weapons to get a ranged hit on his opponent, who is currently throwing knives down at him, and then he runs up and gets a flying kick to the face. He's certainly regained his strength, that's for sure. And eventually the match ends with a final special attack which blasts his opponent back to his world. That'll teach him for attacking an old man. Seriously though, I really like that. It doesn't get more creative than developing and evolving a character throughout the time span of just one single invasion. That was really cool. Congratulations. So thank you very much for watching, everyone. The next episode for Dark Souls 2 will be top 10 comebacks. It's a topic I did for Dark Souls 1, which went really well, but I never got around to doing it for Dark Souls 2. So basically what this is when you have a PvP match where you initially do really badly and almost die, but then something amazing happens and you overcome the odds somehow and come back to win the fight in an impressive way. Instructions on how to submit are in the description. Otherwise, I really hope you enjoyed this episode. Please leave a like if you did, it does help to motivate me, and also please subscribe if you're new. On that note, thank you very much for 200,000 subscribers. We hit that a few days ago and it's just incredible. Thanks once again, everyone. I will see you in the next one.